So Donald Trump was on Dan Bongino's podcast and he was talking about elections. Now, he spent a lot of time complaining that he actually won the 2020 election despite no evidence saying he did, despite the numerous court cases that proved he lost. Um, but beyond that, he was talking about elections and he said Republicans should just take over, that they should nationalize elections, and that we need to take over in at least 15 different places. My guess is 15 states Donald Trump lost, and this is their plan, or what he thinks of a plan. Now, he hasn't signed any executive order. He didn't outline a plan as to how it would happen, just saying they should nationalize elections. And he said that, well, states are only a vessel for the federal government when it comes to counting the votes and declaring a winner, and that ultimately they have to listen to the federal government and the president of the United States. And that's not true. States have always set their own elections when it comes to anything. You know, how their votes go toward the presidency. How do they count, votes? What days are voting open? When is early voting? It's always been up to the states. And it's funny that the party who loves to chant states' rights when it comes for certain things like abortion rights and abortion access, they would back this solution by Donald Trump trying to nationalize elections, because they know if they leave it up to states that they're going to lose. And now they want to try to rig it in their favor. Now, this is never going to go anywhere. Every effort that they have tried to make to set some sort of federal policy, especially through executive order, has been tossed out by the courts in most cases. And like I said, he hasn't signed an executive order yet. But the simple fact that he's even talking about it should be setting off alarm bells for a lot of people, because it's just ridiculous on its face. The federal government has no business being involved in state-run elections. That's one of the things about our government, is that the states are still separate. They have their own duties, their own responsibilities, and not, even though the federal government has the supremacy clause, not everything falls under that. And in the case of elections, it falls under a duty of the state to administer. That's why you have some states that close voting at 7 p.m. Some it's 9 p.m. Some allow 3 weeks of early voting. Some allow 6. Some allow mail-in voting with no reason. Some do only mail-in voting. And Donald Trump doesn't like all that. He wants to be able to set the way people can vote so they can limit who gets access to voting. It's not going to work. This is just one of the latest strategies he has, because he's terrified of losing the midterms.